You're still watching Good Morning Anambra show. On today's episode, we have the Anambra Integrated Measles campaign that will soon kick off. And in the studio, we have Dr. Mrs. Chioma Ezdenyimolo, who is the Anambra SPHCDA. That's, please get me full domain. Care Development Authority. Agency, sorry. You're welcome to the studio, as always.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
All right, I also have Mrs. Edith Onwoka, who is the State Immunization Officer. Welcome.
Thank you.
No, Sani. All right, good to have you in the studio. Now, we know that measles have been a burden in the nation, and but my worry is that globally, Nigeria is still ranking the first, followed by India, and I was like wondering, because I know that most children, when they are giving birth at 9 months, they are given a vaccination against measles at 9 months, right? So now, why is it so that Nigeria, despite the fight, despite the great job you people like you are doing in the area of health, we still have measles being a great burden to us?
Thank you very much. We have to know about the etiology of measles, What are the risk factors for measles? So measles is a childhood illness, and it is vaccine preventable. And the risk factor for measles is overcrowding. Any place you have overcrowding, be it in the living quarters or the schools or, in the community. Any place you have people staying in, places that are not well ventilated, these are risk factors for the illness because it is spread through a droplet infection. That is through sneezing and, secretions from the mouth, from the nose. Is a respiratory tract infection. That is why it spreads rapidly. So these are some of the conditions that favor the spread of measles. And that is why it is very important that children are immunized against measles. Here, we give measles at 9 months, and we give another dose at 15 months. And that is why measles thrives, but then we can prevent it. That is the good news. And vaccination is one of the ways we can prevent measles. Thank you.
No, sorry. Biko, well, pardon me, let me go with that. Please, from what she just rightly said now, does it mean that adults to a certain extent are immune to measles, contacting measles?
Yes. In public health, we have susceptible population, which is basically people, children under the age of 5 and pregnant mother. Then adults, to an extent, have more immunity than children. So that if the person is exposed to maybe overcrowding or any risk factor that may lead to malaria, it may come down with the symptoms or it may not. So it's 50-50. But adults actually can come down with measles symptoms.
All right, Doc, let me quickly ask you this question. Most children are immunized of measles. Is there any possibility that a child will suffer measles after immunization?
Okay, so when you use vaccines, generally, it doesn't mean that when you're vaccinated, you wouldn't get the illness. The only thing is that if for any reason you get the illness, it will be mild. It will no more be severe. Measles, for instance, has a very grave complications. Measles cause blindness, and sometimes it can lead to death. So what we are saying that when you are immunized, even when you have the virus in the air, it's not going to affect the child severely. It will just be a mild form of the illness. Remember that vaccines, that is the essence of vaccination. You use a very dilute, proportion of the, the antigen in order to stir up antibody reaction in the body. That is the principle of all vaccination. Therefore, when that illness comes around, the body recognizes it and fights it. So that is the principle of immunization. So when you give it to the child for measles, and the child is in an environment with measles infection, that infection is not going to be severe in the child.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you very much for that explanation, because some people may, because I've taken immunization, I'm not supposed to suffer this again. Thank you so much.
Doctor, let me ask you this other question too. Now, does it mean for Nigeria to still be ranked #1, followed by India, does it mean that as in the government of Nigeria is not doing enough, or are you having challenges in area of sensitization? Because we've been having measles, I've heard of measles right from when I was a child, and up to this age, we are still being ravaged by it. So what is militating against actual, will I say, eradication of measles in Nigeria?
Okay, like I told you, we have vaccine preventable illnesses. And these are those illnesses we give vaccines for. We have the BCG, we give this at birth against tuberculosis. We also have the polio vaccine, we give against polio. We also have the Penta, 5 vaccines in one. We give against the pertussis, diphtheria, tetanus. We have the measles vaccination. We have yellow fever vaccination. We have hepatitis B vaccination. We also have what we want to introduce now, rotavirus against diarrheal diseases in children. So all these are vaccine preventable illnesses. Some have been able to be eradicated successfully. For instance, smallpox that we had during the World War era, it has been successfully eliminated now. The same with polio. You know, Nigeria was declared polio-free, but due to the insurgency in the north and all that, we still have, traces for the vaccine-derived variety. So what I'm trying to say is that vaccination has helped to reduce the incidence of vaccine-preventable illnesses. But what I know is that our weather, I've explained to you the conditions that, for instance, the measles infection thrives. Now it's very humid, it's very hot. Even as adults, you can see the discomfort at night when you're, sleeping. Everywhere is so humid and hot. So it is such conditions that enable the measles infection to thrive. So that is why we are sensitizing people. Make sure you have a cross ventilation in your homes. Open up your windows. There is no reason why you will be in a room and the windows are shut. Open it up and all that, so that.
But let me come to you, nurse. I don't know, the measles we are talking about, is it seasonal? If actually it is seasonal, could you help educate our people? Because we know that this season will come, the other one will enter the other one, so that we know. In the developed countries, there's something I've noticed about them, that there are some kind of clothes they change when they're in this season. So the other season will come, they will still change. So let our people understand that if this is the season for measles, and of course what people can actually do to help, because prevention, they say, is always better than cure.
Thank you, Nonye. Measles, I can say, is more of seasonal, but it can occur at any time of the year. But usually during the hot weather or during the dry season, there is tendency of dust, contaminated dust, overcrowding. That is when we record more cases of measles. And also, like ES have said, if the herd immunity of the community is low, and she has explained it, that is when the level of immunity is reduced. It predisposes the community to what? To the measles attack. That's why immunization is very, very important at every season.
So
because
what will be our attitude this season? Because I know we are entering the hot weather gradually.
yes, actually we are doing measles campaign for children under 5. But to other age groups, our message is to adapt healthy practices, like she has said, ensuring cross-ventilation, avoiding so much crowded area, and taking good care of our personal hygiene. That will help us to prevent measles. But for children under 5, we have intervention for them, which is this.
Vaccination. Okay, let's see who is here.
Hello, good morning.
All right, in case you want to join the conversation by calling in and making your opinion count, when you call us, you try as much as you can to bring down the volume of your television set, or you move away completely from there. All right, now, Doc, you are embarking, okay.
Hello?
Off it. All right, you are embarking on a campaign for vaccination. Please tell us what you are up to this time around.
Okay, so this time around we are doing the measles vaccination campaign, and we are doing it in the 21 LGAs of Anambra State. But we have staggered it so that we can pay more attention to the hard-to-reach areas, especially the areas affected by the recent flooding. So we are starting with 17 LGAs, and we are going to, we started on the 1st, and this will take us to the 9th of November. At this time, we are immunizing children 9 months to 59 months, that is under 5, against measles. And we're also immunizing children 0 months to 2 years for the other vaccine preventable illnesses I listed following the routine immunization schedule. So we are using the vaccination card to ensure that every child is vaccinated. And we're also doing birth registration at this time. Some children don't have birth certificates, which is not good. Every citizen of Nigeria should possess a birth certificate. So we are urging mothers to take their children to the nearest health facility to get them registered. You know, very soon a lot of things will depend on your certificates, whether school enrollment or whatever. So it is our duty as parents to ensure that every child has a birth certificate. And we are also immunizing adults above 18 years against COVID-19. That is why it's an integrated campaign. We are focusing on measles, but we are also doing other things at the same time. So for the remaining LGAs, being Anambra East and West, Ayamelum, Oka North, and Ogbaru, we are going to roll out their own vaccination from the 15th to 23rd November. It is our belief that at that time, the waters will have receded and we'll be able to assess the communities. But we are also at the IDP camps. On Tuesday, we visited the Honorable Chuchu Onyema camp along Atani Road in Ogbaru, and we immunized children there. So for the parts of Ogbaru that are not submerged, talking about Ukbuku, 1 to 6 wards, we are also rolling out the vaccination campaign. So like I said, we started on the 1st. We actually had, yes, and we did a flag-off ceremony. We held this flag-off ceremony at PHC UK in Idemili North local government area. And this event, we had it last week on Wednesday. That was the flag-off ceremony. So we have started, and we are immunizing children and adults alike.
Okay. All right, the Anambra Integrated Measles Campaign on Good Morning Anambra show this morning. We take a short break here. The program returns after now.
measles is a highly communicable disease, and thank God for the vaccines. With the vaccines, one can strongly beat his or her chest that he will not have any business with measles when he becomes an adult. The thing is that what usually causes that kind of decisions are usually ignorance. So I bet it's better we reverse it, perhaps advise the necessary government agency to know how to sensitize these people so that they will know the importance. Because it's ignorance. Who sees that and jumps into it? So people are, okay, I advise the parents that are reluctant to take their children for this vaccination to do that. It's very important. It's a life-saving decision for these kids, because at the end of the day, if you don't do it, you're jeopardizing their future.
Measles has, adverse effect when it is not taken care of. It causes blindness, causes all other diseases. It kills also. So it's very, very important for people to go in for the vaccination. And I like the way you people are taking it out to sensitize the people, because some people doesn't listen to radio, some people doesn't listen to television. So they don't even know when it is time for them to go in. So you people are doing a very nice job. I commend you. If a child that was born healthy at heart and eventually goes blind or died mysteriously, but the parents will not be happy. So it's very, very necessary for parents to go and take their children for vaccination.
So no them banaya na gena abanya wo go maza nke physical fit na ga ndụmọdụ na-enye ịma na ụfọdụ ndị mmadụ uche ha na-abụ na ọgwụ buto o nwere na-enwe reactions ya bịa agba ha ọgwụ ahụ ụfọdụ o nwere, because meji example nwa m o nwere mgbe agbara ọgwụ ahụ nwee nsogbu, so o wee nachi ya o nwere ọgwụ a nyere ya onwesi anya onwetakwa onwe ya, because ọ maara onye gbadị ọgwụ ndị na-ebugharị ndị na health ekos ndị anya ụmụ nwaanyị na-eje, so ọgbanya ọgwụ, so ụjụ ya na-akpata ụfọdụ ji ya na-ekwe eje agbanya ọgwụ, so mana that ọ dị mkpa na onye ọbụla na-agbanya ọgwụ.
I think there's this saying that says that a stitch in time saves nine. So like in the the sickness is not just about the children having it, but because of the way the sickness or ailment escalates to others. So it's very important to take measure, that is, to take vaccine, not just because you don't want to get infected, but you want to protect other children out there, the school children, there in the compound, both in the church. You're not trying to save your child alone, you're trying to save the general, the children out there. So now them can dinner nana bob mbochioria. Makeme ngwa eme arodachi. Go where they are in the Romo Umuibo, no Anambra State.
Welcome back to Good Morning Anambra. At least you heard it from the masses when they measles campaign. And well, the campaigners are doing a yeoman's job on what they are doing, and we wish them the very much success that they need. I'm coming back to questions asked by women.
Before that, we've been joined by Mrs. Uju Onwo Ebuzina, who is the state health educator. Welcome to the studio, beautiful woman.
Thank you, Nonye.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, viewers at home.
What the people on the street, when we were feeling the pulse of the masses, they were saying that the measles campaign, is it just going to be in schools? Is it just going to be visiting people at home? How do you checkmate multiple vaccination if there's going to be any hazard on multiple vaccination?
Yeah, thank you very much. So the strategy we are using for the measles campaign, we have the fixed post. That means all the primary health centers are immunizing against measles. We also have the mobile teams. These are the teams moving around. So we are going to be visiting schools. We are going to be visiting the church, the mosques, the markets, the playgrounds, anywhere children are found. So this is the strategy that we are using for this campaign. And each child that has been immunized is going to be marked on the left thumb. So that way, when we see a child that has already been immunized, we don't give again. And we are also giving with the card. We have the cards for these vaccination cards for this exercise. So that is going to counter multiple vaccination. But if, for instance, it doesn't have any side effect, so we want to give every child and make sure that no child is missed.
All right, Tuju, while they were talking on the screen, you're doing some face here. I would like you to actually, react to what some of them said concerning the immunization that you have kicked off.
Okay, thanks very much. I want to commend the person that said that when the child was given this immunization, that he has a lot of some challenges. And the child was taken back to the facility where they gave the child that vaccine. Sometimes when a child is being given this vaccine, the child might come up with what we call AEFI. AEFI means advanced events following immunization. Okay. During the health talk, we encourage the caregivers, if a child started showing any sign of crying excessively or having too much fever, anything that is not the child used to have before taking that vaccine, that the child should take, the caregiver should take the child back to the facility. So those care workers there, they will now know what to do, so that they will now stop whatever that is happening to the child. So this AEFI, the child might come up with a severe fever. Okay. And when the child is being taken back, the health workers, they will know what to do. So we encourage every caregiver to take back the child when the child is given any vaccine, and the child come up with all this AEFI.
Okay, now you've started the vaccination since November 1. Can you tell us how far, so far good? What are your recordings? Are people responding positively? Because we know that in the north, for instance, some don't want you people to vaccinate their children. So how is the response down here?
For now, we've not recorded any non-compliance. People are responding very, very well. And that's why we are using the schools, the churches, the opinion leaders, the caregivers, the key influencers in our communities. If we have any non-compliance in school, we involve the Ministry of Education, the ASUBEB. And they've given us a letter of authority that they should allow our team members to come inside the school and vaccinate all the eligible. The eligible, you see them in creche, nursery. So that 9 to 59 months, we see them there. If it is in church, if our team is in church and they did not allow them, the reverend that we have given an announcement letter, they will now. And in all the dioceses and all denominations, they have their health coordinators, which we have engaged them in our stakeholders engagement meeting. So if we call them, they will resolve anything. But for now, we've not recorded any. People are turning up. Thank you.
Any plans? Because this is contagious. Yeah. As in, it breeds in crowded areas. Any plans to foster the movement of people? Because you definitely can't stop people moving en masse from one location to the other. You understand? I mean, people coming in, unvaccinated people coming into places where people have already been vaccinated. Are there any plans based on this issue of flooding? People are mass moving from one area to the other in seek of shelter. Do you guys have any plans to checkmate that in this campaign?
Checkmate will do the ES have said it that we visited the IDP camps.
Yeah, before the flood.
And again, we encourage people, like she said earlier, let all the windows be open for the cross ventilation. And there is no way like this incidence of a flood disaster. They don't have option. People staying in a crowded place. The only thing we can do is just to do this vaccination. And again, sensitize them of drinking water, taking good drinking water, this personal hygiene, very, very important. But because of this flood disaster, you have no option, you have no, there is no plan that you have that you tell them not to be there because they don't have any alternative. What they have is just where they will stay and save their life. So since we are doing this vaccination, that's the only thing we can do. This overcrowding.
Okay, that peradventure the measles come, it will not be severe.
Exactly,
okay, now,
because
Doc,
of the herd immunity.
Okay.
And for adults for 18 years and above, we vaccinate them against COVID-19
okay.
and other routine immunizations. So once their windows is open, they have cross ventilation, and they're taking a good personal hygiene, I don't think any harm will come up because we've done the needful.
All right, Doc, please, for emphasis sake, you said earlier that you are kind of grouping this campaign. You're not taking the whole community at the same time. Could you let our people understand? You've started on 1st November, so which people are gaining it now and which people are going to take part the next time? Please let's know the schedule of your campaign.
Okay, so for this measles integrated campaign in Anambra State, we have staggered it. That means we are going to do it in 2 phases. Phase 1, we have started on the 1st of November. It will take us to the 9th of November. Being that we are vaccinating for 8 days and we are using 2 days for our mop-up exercise. Now, the LGAs that we are vaccinating are all the LGAs except Anambra East and West, Ayamelum, Oka North, and parts of Obaru. Why I say parts of Obaru is that some parts are not submerged. Okpoko 1 to 6 are not submerged, so we are vaccinating them now. From the 15th to 23rd November, that is when we are going to go to these LGAs that I mentioned. Anambra East and West, Oka North, Ayamelum, and the remaining parts of Obaru. And it is like a win-win situation whereby we have vaccinated them at the IDP camps where they moved to. Now, we are also going to go into those communities to look out for those ones that, didn't come out, to make sure no child is missed. That is why we have brought out a time to go specifically into those LGAs.
Please, what are the symptoms of measles so that we, even though we are not health practitioners, we can see that telltale signs and then know how to call for people like you so that a child can be vaccinated?
Okay, so like I said, measles is a respiratory tract infection. So it starts with a prodrome. What it means is that the child starts by having the cough, catarrh. That is how it starts. And if the mother is observant, can notice that the child has what we call the Koplik spots in the mouth. They are whitish areas in the mouth. And this will happen between, maybe 7 to 10 days, 9 days before the rash appears, the measles rash, the characteristic rash that spares the face. So that is when we make that diagnosis of measles. And it is very important that the child is managed conservatively. That means whatever symptoms the child is displaying, the child is being treated. For instance, if the child is having the high fever, we also treat for malaria because it could be also a part of the illness. You bring down the temperature, and we use the paracetamol to bring down the temperature. And for the rash, we have some, ointments we do rub on the rash. So these are just things that we do to alleviate the symptoms the child is having, because we don't want to enter complications. That is why we are saying that immunization, like the man rightly said, prevention is better than cure. This is the opportunity to immunize your children. For instance, when we went to the IDP camp, there was a woman that didn't want to bring out her children, but we had to explain to her, and we had to really make her understand that it is much better to bring out your child to be immunized than to start running around when the child comes down with the ailment. So she saw reason, and she brought out the child.
Okay,
and we
a
immunized
quick
the
one
child.
because of our time. We are fast running out of time. Now, we all know that there are some children that suffer measles even before immunization. Can you still take immunization after you've suffered measles?
Yeah.
Why?
The child can still take measles vaccine after the child has suffered measles. Because when the child has suffered the measles, the body has developed some body immunity.
That's why I asked why.
Yes, you can still give to boost that one the body has developed.
Okay, and with that, it takes care of the situation.
It takes care of this.
All right, well, we can go on and on, but that's just the much we can take on the program on Good Morning Anambra show today, talking about the immunization campaign going on in Anambra State currently. I would like to thank you so much, Dr. Mrs. Choma Ezdenyi Molo, Anambra State Primary Health Care Development Agency. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. And remember, we're also vaccinating against COVID-19 infection. And, we are approaching the festive seasons. We would have some returnees. So everybody needs to be protected, because some parts of the world are still having a COVID-19 infection.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Uju Onwebuzina. You are the state health educator. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Noye.
And we appreciate Mrs. Edith Onwoka, State Immunization Officer. That's just about it on Good Morning Anambra show today. My name is Nonye Nwokoye.
And I'm Okabe, saying have a pleasant day.